You know the name. In fact, you know the man, the great emancipator, the face on the penny, the president who held a broken nation together through its darkest hour. Yes, you know that part of the story. But now, for the rest of this story. He was born in a log cabin in Kentucky in 1809. No silver spoons, no prestigious tutors, just a dirt floor, a borrowed Bible, and a dream. He had less than 1 year of formal education. That's right, just one. But that didn't stop him from devouring books by candlelight, scribbling notes on scraps of wood, and walking miles just to borrow a book. He dreamed of making something of himself, but life didn't make it easy. At 22, he failed in business. At 23, he ran for the state legislature. He lost. At 24, he tried business again. It failed again. At 25, his sweetheart died. His heart shattered. At 27, he had a nervous breakdown. At 29, he ran for Speaker of the House. He was defeated. At 34, tried for Congress. He lost. At 39, tried again. Lost again. At 46, he ran for Senate. Defeated. At 47, he tried for the vice presidency. He lost. At 49, he ran for Senate again, and again he lost. Now, let me pause here. Most men would have quit. Most men would have called it fate, bad luck, or just plain failure. Most men would have said, maybe this dream just wasn't meant to be. But not Abraham, because somewhere deep inside that tall, lanky frame was a resilience forged by sorrow, and a faith that his purpose had not yet been fulfilled. He once said, I will prepare, and someday my chance will come. And in 1860, it did. At 51 years old, after decades of heartbreak, humiliation, and hard lessons, Abraham Lincoln became the 16th President of the United States. And he didn't inherit a calm nation. He inherited a storm, a civil war, brother against brother. And yet, he led with humility, with compassion, with an unwavering belief that a house divided against itself cannot stand. He would go on to sign the Emancipation Proclamation, to reunite a fractured country, to speak words at Gettysburg that still echo in classrooms and hearts to this day. But before the monuments, before the memorials, before the White House, there was a young man from the woods of Kentucky with more losses than victories, more wounds than medals. But he never gave up. Abraham Lincoln's life is a reminder that setbacks are not the end of the story. They are the shaping tools of destiny. Each loss, each heartbreak, each failure was not wasted. They carved in him a depth of character, humility, and resilience that prepared him for the greatest test of leadership any president would face. What the world remembers are his triumphs, the speeches, the proclamations, the victories. But those triumphs were born out of the perseverance in the face of crushing defeats. Lincoln's journey teaches us that true greatness is not measured by how many times we fall, but by how many times we rise. When life whispers, quit, faith answers, prepare. And when the moment comes, those years of quiet preparation, persistence, and prayer bear fruit. Your story may not be written on monuments or remembered in history books, but it matters. Every challenge you endure, every time you refuse to give up, you too are writing a story worth telling. Like Lincoln, your perseverance may be the very thing that blesses generations to come. The scriptures tell us, "Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up." And now that you know the rest of this story, you have a story to tell.